3 Enigma, because if I'm thinking about anything, I'm thinking about still this contest at control.
Absolutely. One of the things I will say, we get an extremely southern pulling circle here. And I think the Santalan bio still, but we get a lot of teams actually play off towards boat as Twisted Minds immediately hunt Leviathan down, where they had given up Factory for a second and decided they were going to land on this outside boat, maybe play up towards it once they had their loadout. Not given that opportunity as Ullman seals the deal, and one of the players has managed to flee to living quarters. But these are the early mental blows and statements that we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Map 1 did not go the way of the North Americans. Map 2 most certainly did. And Map 3, well, you just obliterated your opposition.
Just a couple of friendly bullets between friends. All love. That's really good. It's all love. No, nothing wrong here. 5 Fears, though, they are looking to try and get back on into the mix. It hasn't looked very good for them, for Big Man. Well, he wants to gain control of this tower and his teammate Sight down below here at Grandma's alongside Anxiety. 2 kills already for Anxiety, feeling good. So 5 Fears after not a great map number 1 and even worse, arguably, map number 2.
Yep.
Already showing some signs of life here in map 3.
Yep, and let's hope we continue to see those signs of life, because they most certainly need to show some here on that. We move over to this Battle for Control Center. 100 Thieves and Movistar Koi, of course, is looking to square up here. You are going to have company, though, rolling in. There's a couple of VK, well, at least one VK player lurking around, just trying to sniff out a couple of kills. That might be Kadzu in the back corner. Gabe's going to slide out, spot absolutely nothing. For the Thieves players, it's about making sure you don't get isolated. You don't want to overstray and end up being found. And you can see Movistar Koi waiting, looking to do exactly that. Kadzu will be here to at least put some damage in. Can you isolate this? Well, the teammates are looking to support. You're going to have Vidati up close and personal.
Oh, no.
3v3.
You've left the roof open, though, and Volcom is going to hit that Ascender on the outside. Make sure you can hold that high ground. Try and stay on there. For FaZe Clan, over towards Chemical Engineering, though, looks like Fnatic. They are going to go ahead and take some of this aggression, bring it their way, and they're going to contain a lot of this area of the map. It'll only be for basically this first zone, as we are just absolutely pulling all the way to the southwest side. That is there. Let's get a nice little shot onto Clumsy out into the water, just trying to stay alive. And well, for Twisted Minds, it looks like they are just going to continue to have the aggression. And Aydan, it's a little bit of a hesitated shimmy. He catches Deki onto the outside. Lays taken on in. And Stukex, he's actually taken down by Diaz. Biffle, just like that. Leviathan wiped off the map. And map number 3, they're our first team eliminated.
Yeah, huge map 1 from them, showing early signs of fire, but no such thing in maps 2 and 3. Made to suffer well and truly. Please put out their misery quickly here in map 3. They will fall as our first squad, and well, the Falcons will continue to go on the hunt. That duo, arguably the best to ever play this game, continues to hunt through living quarters. They do have a member of FaZe in there, as well as some of the Movistar Koi. Move over to Fnatic, who continue to punch their way southern down through the map. You will have presence here from this Puerto Rican squad, just looking to buy their time. Elolan trying to get Sakura back into the fight, but he's torn between just leaving this, and I think that's his decision. Just get the hell out of Dodge, try and regroup with Tenex.
Yeah, I think this is a really, really good idea right now for Fnatic. This team playing underneath Vitality last year, they loved this POI. This was their drop spot, so they know how to play out of here very well. The only problem is you're going to get moved out of here for sure with this next zone. And for Gamax, they do not want to let you take some of this size as you slide on forward, and Elolam is good for 1, is good for 2.
That might be really bad as well, because actually FaZe are considering regrouping over by Chem, which is where your one remaining player is if you're Fnatic, so you're going to have to buy some time. Circle's going to continue to pull you in, so worrying moment for the team. They've looked so good through the early stage of this, and actually no, you get the kill if you're Zakar into JTech. FaZe in a mad scramble on the opposite side of the map, but go back to control as 3 teams fight it over.
Yeah, I mean, this is just getting absolutely mixy. Falcons, they're going to go ahead. They want to try and stay on up here, and it's one final bullet from Diaz. Biffle catches Gabe Kuhn, trying to go up for the roof. Blast has to go ahead. Tail between his legs, duck back on down, but it is not going to be a clean exit for him. He's got to stay alive. It's by the last skin of his teeth. Blast goes down, but he gets another teammate back on in. Falcons continuing to surge up here towards Control Center, and this is just Shifty and Biffle up here, ladies and gentlemen. Soka's still down in Stronghold, rent-free. He just has the entire POI for himself.
Yeah, incredibly important that he stays there as well, because that zone may well pull in that direction towards the end. So just looking to hold and swat away any interested parties. And you can do that when Biffle and Shifty are tearing teams apart like this. Oh no. Incredible work at control. They're trying to fight Gabe Kuhn out of the sky. Skullfist going to land on the opposite side, be found by Shifty. Biffle also looking to chase this down. If Gabe is found here, I mean, 100 Thieves, they're continuing to stay alive for now, but it's a blender that you've got to find a way out of from some time. And Biffle, he's chasing, he's cracking, he's looking high, and by the skin of his teeth, Gabe will live for a moment.
Well, we start Koi. They're starting to get in on this fight. They hear these shots going on out. They know what's going on through. However, Volcom has been found on the outside by Shifty. It's just going to be one last player from that team that is just trying to stay alive for the moment. Looks like 100 Thieves, at least got 2 players back on in. Gabe was able to play his life on a little bit of a scuffle with Diaz Biffle, as we have lost a lot of players, it feels like. However, it's only been 2 teams taken off the map here, ladies and gentlemen. Circle 2 looking to come to a close. Already pulling down towards this sort of tense living quarters side. It looks like that's where our zone is going to go ahead and pull us. A lot of these teams going to have to start moving.
Just setting himself up here to try and fight this. Gotta bear in mind the goat clamp's on the rooftop. You want to clear that. Shifty goes high. Shifty finds the kill because, of course, he does. 2 players off the Thieves down below. Shifty just going to hold the top here. Biffle's going to try and provide backup from a distance. Volcom coming in from the sky. Skullface found yet again in the cleanup. And right now, Volcom as well, trying to research here. Now, honestly, at some point, I think you've just got to give this up. You do not want to be in a blender against the Falcons of all people, as Biffle finds his 7th kill, of the day. You do get shot actually by a member of the VKA team that are playing off towards Bo. Just a reminder that they are going to be there. This zone looks like it's going to squeeze everybody off towards that living quarters side, or maybe even Stronghold soon. 100 Thieves still suffering in the feed. Twisted Minds, though, they did make that big bounce back, of course, in map 2 and won their fight for Factory early. So here, just trying to push into living quarters. They will have company in phase very soon, and just trying to assess how they will approach that.
I love where Twisted Minds has moved here. It's up towards living quarters. They know that they've cleared out this entire, basically, south side of the map. They're just going to have the ability to hang on here. They're back at their POI, back at Factory. So you win the Factory drop, you get a little aggressive. We watch Leviathan get taken on out. You surge on up, you find a couple more in chem, and you come back on down and nobody's home. So you say, hey, great, this is our POI. We know exactly how we want to play it. We're going to stay here until we are forced to move. For Rock Esports, Prison, it's where they were able to play out of here in game number 1. They'll be forced to move out of here, though, and maybe a couple, 2 or 3 circles. But for the time being, it looks like we've kind of just come on down. Map started to feel maybe a little bit more slower as sort of different teams are starting to grab their POIs.
Quick check of the leaderboard, ladies and gentlemen, that we get live here in the back. Rock Esports actually have the most kills out of everybody with 41, and showing exactly why they have so much control of Prison, battering everyone away from their position. That being said, I believe that I was misled. The leaderboard changes, and that was not true. So we will just go back to what we were talking about before. Aydan gonna eye one up. Can you catch Resolve?
Ooh.
Shot just over the top here. We'll be backing Resolve down, who want that loadout up above. Circle will start to squeeze him in eventually anyway, so you can sit here for a second. It's between the legs on the second, and the dive comes through. Frustrating for Aydan here. He is the anchor, of course. We're not expecting many kills, but just 2 on the board. You're hoping to pick up a 3rd as you hold. And we move over then to the living quarters area, and it's going to be all fist fights for phase. They back off here, potentially in a 2v1. Smith will actually draw blood as well. I think call it a draw and reassess your situation for the next fight, lads.
Yeah, you got Almond. He's on the back, still on that roof towards Factory side. You lose Aydan in that fight, but it's A-okay. I think Smitty realizes he's going to have an opportunity to still try and play alive here. J-Tech, there are some shots down on range. You have to be careful, though, because you don't want to push forward too hard. As well, you are going to have members of EWC Esports just up ahead of you at headquarters. If they decide to look on down, they could maybe try and clean up some of these kills. Skullface still alive, so he's just trying to stay here and down towards that side. Well, his 2 teammates, this battle at control is still going on between 100 Thieves and the Falcons. Maybe a little bit of revenge finally. Shifty, he slides on out though, and well, just as you're feeling good if you are 100 Thieves, you get caught on down by the Falcons, and if there's anybody who's going to let you know exactly how they feel, it's Shifty. A little bit more friendly love bullets going out for some of our teams.
Yeah, that guy doesn't do quiet. As King Matty is found in the feed. Back on over then to Factory. This battle between Twisted Minds and Leviathan rages on. Twisted Minds coming out on top again here. Map 3 has been theirs to lock down this south side. And now it's all about where they try and progress into. They tried living quarters previously. We came up against FaZe. We're told to back down and reset the situation. So now it's assessing how they head upland from here. Circle will drag hard. Somewhere between headquarters and control is likely where we're headed, ladies and gentlemen. For Rock, you will have some of that circle inside the prison, but you've got company in EWC Esports.
Now, we've seen this battle happen time and time again, and a great Thermite from Wars will back them on down. He's going to be able to meet back on up with Vision. You have the cash if you need to hit that buy station, get Prodigy back on through. But I guess the question is, where can you go that there's a buy station, right? I'm trying to think about on the minimap, where could you go? And you got one maybe potentially down by Grandma's if you want to have happen, but you got to be able to make some ways on through. EVOS, they've been able to grab the roof, though. trying to get some shots on in. And for Clumsy and J-Tech, it's just a little bit of a stabilization here on the outside of zone.
Yeah, important knock actually for Zakar, just giving Fnatic an opportunity to breathe because FaZe Clan are considering rolling up towards them. Circle's going to press, Clumsy's going to assess, and nothing too much to worry about. But FaZe, we've had a fantastic tournament so far. Let's find out exactly why as we listen in.
Yeah, look at these guys behind us.
We clear our back. We clear our back.
Okay.
Row back where? Row back where?
Wait, yellow, you ready?
Yellow, yeah, yellow.
120, 120. Turret skin.
He's
On the turret. Look at this left kid, why you dead? Go that, Clumsy. 2 on EJ.
Yeah.
No, team on the guns.
I tried, bro.
Swing right, Clumsy.
Well, on my body.
Tell me when he dead.
One more. He's gonna die.
Inside the hut.
I'm crossing over.
He crossed the tent. I got PA'd on my body.
You can buy back too. You can buy back late.
You can't, you don't have to buy. I got the solo.
You got your kill.
He died, you got the kill.
Nice.
Nice.
You can't.
There's a kid on the gun as well. You got top 5 already, okay? You can play kills if you want.
Alright.
Your right should be cleared. You killed the last guy right.
FaZe, it's been a little bit of a mixy map for them. Clumsy last alive. A little bit of a deja vu from our earlier maps. So he's just trying to make it, but I love the call-outs that we hear. You can do a late buy if you need to. He has a lot of space if he wants to try and make that happen because the rest of the fights are pretty much going on up here at Prison. You can see Twisted Minds finally able to get into our top 5 for a game. It took them 2 squads to get here, but hey, we love seeing them on in. Now, can they close it out? That is the real question. Aydan currently sitting on 6.
Yeah, Twisted, EVOS, and Rock are all going to be all 3s here, so 9 players in this vicinity. Rob does actually find himself a little bit of an outside angle, finds the crack over towards the control center. Not sure if he knows that the 3 players stood directly beneath him, and kills in the feed as the Falcons cut off Showstopper trying to rotate over. If you're EVOS, you're in a bad position here, but not much better for Twisted Minds. The Falcons can see them.
Look at this, Falcons, they're just going to be able to cut down all of these players just trying to get out of Prison. No one's able to move. Twisted Minds, they maybe have found the gap. They drop behind the wall, but it's the shot from Diaz Biffle. Currently on 13, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to go ahead. They clean up Twisted Minds. They know it's 1 player alive only, and they are flying their way on forward. It's just going to be Wars who gets knocked to the gas. Falcons, they had a great game 1. They had a better game 2, and they end our first 3-game series here with a win and an even better game 3. Absolutely crazy for